What is up, guys? Welcome back. My name is Parker Joe. It's kind of a different video. I don't really know which audio I'm going to end up using. It sounds like I'll be using this one, but welcome back to my channel. Today I just kind of wanted to talk about some stuff. The topic I've thought about for probably 3 years now, probably over 3 years, almost 3.5, since the beginning of 2020. I've engaged with the idea, even in 2017, 2018, but basically what I want to talk about today is identity. And it's a huge issue I feel like that we have in our generation is identity. We see a lot of insecurities. We see a lot of hatred, backlash, and just division. And I think it comes down to who you think you are, who you believe you are, who you want to be, who you desire to be. I think a lot of times we tend to choose groups, whether they be social, political, even to do with like religion or friend group or hobbies. We choose these groups that we find ourselves suited to be the best fit for us. A lot of times I see people get so offended when it comes to any of these types of groups, political, whether you're a liberal, conservative, moderate, Republican, and you see when people bash on that, people retaliate and get so upset because they have such an identity in that group, in something, instead of who they actually are. It's just something that, hey, maybe they tend to lean into, agree with. Yeah, there's communities within those groups that you can belong to and find comfort in people with similar minds. But I think at the end of the day, it's so many external things that we're allowing to define and dictate who we think we are. And when those external things get attacked, when they're critiqued, when people talk about them in a bad manner, we tend to retaliate because we find it as if they were attacking us. They're attacking our identity, something that we lean in so deeply towards. And because of that, we get hurt when people bash something that has nothing to do with us. And so many times people think what you do is who you are and who you become, but it's really, who are you being? Your being will determine what you do. I see a lot of times people want to be something, so they start doing it. And they think because of their doing of maybe this activity or hobby or whatever it is that they want to practice in order to be something, they think that is validating what they're trying to be internally. And that is just so falsehood. It is completely the opposite. And sadly, we believe this lie where in order to be something, you just got to do it. There's been many times in my life I wanted to be something specific, and I started doing what I thought those people did. And really, at the end of the day, I wasn't being who I was. I wasn't being who I was created to be. I was just being a false idea of what I thought I wanted to be and wanted to do. I think identity is the most important thing that you have in this life. Without it, you're going to stumble, you're going to fall, you're not going to stand on anything firm at all. You're going to have a lot of leeway in your life. You're going to go to the left, to the right. You're always going to allow external things, whether that be people, pressures, politics, the group that you happen to subside in, alter some of your decisions, alter the way that you're supposed to feel according to their rules or their group. And so I think at the end of the day, we really have to find just deep inside, like, who are we? And I really believe each and every one of us on this earth, young, old, doesn't matter your religion or your race, where you're from, your history, or what you perceive to be your future to be, there is a person that you were created to be. And that's something that I've been discovering for a couple of years, and it's made me really firm in who I am. It's made me very confident where I don't need other people's validation. Obviously, there's times I'm human where I might seek it. I might seek an emotion in the moment. I might be coping. But at the end of the day, it's like I know who I am, and people can say what they want about me, and it's not going to bother me. I don't know them. Their words mean nothing to me. They don't determine anything. They don't know my character. They don't know my history. They don't know my now. And so why would I let anything external, especially coming from a source that I am unfamiliar with, a lot of people online, a lot of people I'm not really friends with, but peers, define who I am? I think it's important to have the right people in your life to speak into you and to see and recognize traits that you have and encourage you to develop in those more, to walk out in those more. But we can't keep letting external things make its way internally, because they never will internally. We're all seeking some sort of validation. We're all insecure. We're wanting to be good enough. We seek this out in many ways, whether it's being rich, popular, in good shape. It could be your clothes and your style. It could just simply be your reputation, Are you bowing your knee to all the people around you because you want to please them in order to get this validation that you don't have inside? And I guess the question is, how do you find that? How do you achieve that? How do you get something that's so deeply internal to start coming out of you, where now the eternal is affecting the external, not vice versa, where we're not just at the waves and wind of the world that blow us to the left and to the right, and we sway in what we believe and what we desire. First of all, I find it in Christ. I find it in God first. I'm a Christian. I've been following the Lord for 5 years. It's been very hard, definitely in a hard season right now. And there's so many things that I used to find identity in, and a lot of those were my physique. I was so insecure as a kid. I dealt with a lot of rejection when I was young, and as soon as I got in shape, all of a sudden I was receiving external validation. And for me, I let that be something that I thought I needed so much internally into who I was. Like, the only way to be who I was to have the externals be able to feed what's inside. And for a long time, I was so dependent on others and what they thought of me. And that was the power of my confidence in who I thought I was. And whenever someone didn't like me, man, it crushed me, because I was like, oh, there's still something wrong with me that I have to fix. I just wanted to be universally liked all around the board, and that's just not going to be possible. I remember I had a lot of different groups I was involved in, or areas of life, and I was a different person in each one because I was so insecure. I had such a self-awareness and intuition of how I should act in order to please these other people. And so I was going around being a different person all across the board, to my Christian religious people at church at the time and their families. I was this good Christian kid. To all my boys, I was myself. I was crazy. I was drinking, chasing girls, whatever you want to call it. And to different political sides, I would play those political figures as well. I think the most important thing is going to be the people in your life. And they can't be people that want you to live a life that's just similar to theirs just because they think what they're doing is the right path. There's millions and millions of people that think they're on the right path and doing the right thing, and I'm one of those people sometimes where I think I got it down, which I know I don't. And a lot of times I'm just like, oh, if people thought the way I did, maybe everything would just work out, which that's such a shame, because if everyone thought the way I did, how boring would life be? How mundane. It would be such a lack of creativity and newness. And it's a good thing that we're not all the same. It's a good thing that, hey, you don't have to be like other people. You don't have to conform. You don't have to be the idea that your parents once gave you, or your friends, or the culture that you're involved in. You're not bound to any of those things, so don't let them bind you. Kind of a different video today. Definitely just felt led to talk about this. I don't know if it's going to help anyone. I don't know if what I'm saying is making an extreme amount of sense the way I imagine it in my head. But if it helps anyone in their walk and their intuition, and maybe even in their insecurities to be challenged, like, why are you insecure? Why are you feeling this way? Why do you think you have to have a certain status or a certain title to validate you? And all those things are fair, but we can't live externally where we miss out living our entire life because we want to live it according to other people and other social pressures, constructs, and anything like that. If you guys want to see more videos like this, comment down below. Hopefully this was helpful. I don't know if I'll make more videos like this. We'll have to see how this one turns out and the fruit of the labor. But guys, I appreciate you watching. If you've made it until the end, please leave a comment, consider subscribing. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or your week, whatever you're doing. Stay safe, be smart, enjoy your loved ones, enjoy your friendships, and we'll see you in the next video.